Hey, Randy, it's me.
Good morning. This is Dr. China. What's going on? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
We're about to get started in a couple minutes here for everybody.
Awesome.
Who else do we have on out there? Welcome to the webinar. It looks like we got everybody getting on. Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started here shortly.
www.sc.ke for more information. And the Technical Institute growing.
What? What are you talking about?
All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to get started here in about a minute or so. Welcome to the webinar.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who do we have out there?
Evelyn Torres from Jersey.
What's up, Evelyn? Good to see you on. We're about to get started here in a minute or so.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for having me on. Great morning.
Great morning, everybody. Who do we have on?
Daisy.
What's going on, Daisy? I just saw in the building. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope you got those MT4s ready. Are you going to go over a little bit training with the ECC-11 strategy, and then we're going to get this kicked off. We're going to talk about some.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. All right, I'm about to get ready to mute all the lines, and we'll go ahead and get started here. Let's see. Hello. I'm going to mute everybody's lines here. Please. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to pretty much our breakfast club trading. We're trying this out here. We're going to have a system coming up soon where you can actually plug in. We're going to start trading in the morning with myself and some other leaders using the ECC-11 strategy, Ecclesiastics 11. As you know, Dr. K created this system, this strategy here dealing with the cloud. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break it down. How it works is very simple. If you have not, if you don't have the web analyzer, I'm going to suggest that you definitely get the web analyzer. We're going to show you a way that you can actually do trades on your own. I'm going to show you how simple the system is. But we're going to do this just about every single morning throughout the day. You can actually do this on your own. As you can see on the left here, it automatically kicks out trades for you. Okay. So when we go here, if you need to upgrade to this product, you can go to shopping cart, log into your website, go to shopping cart. And you'll look for Web Analyzer. It's 20. You're not going to use there's different add-ons. You don't need the add-ons. Just add Web Analyzer. ECC-11 is already included with the regular Web Analyzer. So go ahead and add the Web Analyzer on there. We're going to show you exactly how to use this product. Quick 10 pips and dips, exactly like you're seeing what Dr. K does. This product is showing you exactly how to do that. Yes, let me record this. Okay, so folks on the ECC-11, this product is showing you exactly when to buy and sell. So we're going to break down a few dynamics, and we're going to look for some trades to call here. I'm going to see how CAD is moving because there is news coming up in about 2 hours, and I just don't want it to get stuck in the trade and this thing kind of blow to your stop loss. So we're going to pay attention to move in here, and we may call this for a 10 pips. So we'll talk about this red line, which we call the conversion line or the Tankinson. Looking at the settings. If you're first getting started, make sure that you change your strategy down here. You go to ECC-11, or you go down to strategy, you select ECC-11 here. So it's a lot of different strategies here. Make sure you select ECC-11. I will tell you this strategy works very well with cryptocurrency. Had a good friend of mine using it this weekend, hit every trade using the ECC-11 strategy. So if you want to trade crypto, you can, and it's going to be calling trades over the weekend. So if you got to get that trading fix, you can get the trading fix in there, okay? So once you do that, you can put on the cha-chings on there, and then it's going to bring the strategy up, and it will bring your cloud up. Now, here's what it's going to do. You're going to have to change some settings around. Okay, as soon as it gets on it, the settings may be different. So let me just show you the settings that are on there. You can change the conversion line to red. Baseline is blue. This is your Tankinson. This is your Kinginson. You can make the line thicker if you want to, okay? And then everything else remains the same. You're going to choose default, save as default. So when you bring it back up, it saves that is that. You can also change the settings 6, 13, 26. I know the default ones is 9, 26, 52. But I believe Dr. K uses these settings now. So make sure you change that to 6, 13, 26. Okay. And now we're going to talk about just the dynamics of what the cloud is. Ichimoku Kinko Hayo stands for quick glance created by the Japanese. Just a little bit of history on that. Let's just talk about it real quick. Instead of having to draw lines, I know when you get started, you got to draw these support. Like if I was to draw support and resistance line, I'll draw one here based off, this being support, this being resistance, and so forth. You don't have to do any of that with the cloud. The cloud is meant for a quick glance. You look at it, you can analyze the chart. So right now it's calling a buy, for example. And so the first thing that I'm looking at, if it calls a buy for me, is, hey, is it above my Tankinson? Because this Tankinson, this red line conversion line, acts as a support or a resistance depending on where price is at. Well, currently price is above. So right now it's acting as a support. So in my book right now, if it called this buy, it looks pretty good. But the next thing I'm looking at is also, hey, where am I going to put my stop loss at? Well, we use the Kinginson, which is our baseline. It's also called our stop loss line. What I suggest is I typically go 5 pips below the Kinginson, right? So when I go into a trade for 10 pips, I go 5 pips below. Now looking for how many pips we can get out of this. The other dynamic we have here is what we call the money line or the Chico span. Basically allows you to go back into time. Now, all this is, because most people get confused when we talk about going back into time, how does this do this? It's just your candles. And if you understand a little bit of structure, we're always going back in time with our candles. We're basing our resistance lines based off what previous highs were. So, for example, this happened twice. So guess what I would do? I would place a resistance line here, okay, because price turned around when it went to that point. So naturally, I would place that here, but I don't have to do that. I can just quickly look at it, see this green line here, look at those 2 points. Okay, that's my next point right there. So instead of having to draw this line here, I already see it, okay? So that's what that's giving you. So when we get ready to go in this trade, so first thing I'm looking at, when this point's straight up, we look to the left. And looking to the left gives us our next, well, either your take profit or our next point. So this would be where I would say that our next point will go to, which is about 7 pips. Once it passes this area, I'm expecting it to go up to this point here, and it either can pass this point up or it can turn around. Now, here's the special part about the cloud. Now we're talking about the Kumo, right? This part here, they call it the Seiko span. Okay, you don't have to know the exact terms, but the cloud basically determines the trend or shows where the market is going. So as we can see, we had our dip here in the cloud, and then this is going to continue up. So guess what? It's called a buy. So I would say that, boom, we would be good to buy here. Okay, I just want to see that this is going to move a little bit faster than it is. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to be cautious. There's going to be news that's going to hit in 2 hours, but we're going to go in for a buy here shortly. I just want to see how it's moving. This is on the 1 hour. Let me get to the 15-minute chart actually. Okay, we're gonna wait for this one. So remember I talked about, so I was on the 1 hour there. So I'm not gonna call that just yet. We're gonna wait for this trade. It's a bigger trade. We're gonna wait for it to move past, right? Because that's what it's acting as resistance. Now remember I talked about that. So here's our Tengson and Kinginson. Price is banging against it. Once price moves past, just like anything else, comes back and retests, I'm going to go in for the buy here. So great thing. Anytime that a buy is called above the cloud, okay, it is considered a strong buy. Now what we want is this red to cross up over the blue. Once that red crosses up over the blue, we're going to be good for a buy. And guess what? We're looking for it to track up this cloud here. So when we look at the 15, you've heard this before, just the way that we taught old school wise, is if it's above the cloud on the M15, the H1, and if you check it on the H4, they say it's a really strong buy. That's the way that we used to train this thing. But based off what the Webb analyzer gives, I'm just telling you, this cross, for example, this is powerful here. Looking at the 4 hour. Red crossing up over the blue. It's in the cloud pushing up. We can definitely, we're going to push for getting 10 pips here easy. Okay. And we're definitely going to set our stop loss for this one. Like I said, because news is going to hit. Go back down to the 15. And just know, folks, trading requires some patience here. I mean, and then let's just go on over it. For those that have went through the academy, you understand there's 5 confirmation before entering a trade. You don't have to know all that. Pretty much using this strategy, but I'll tell you, it'll put you much far ahead for getting in trades properly. So as you know, the first thing that you're looking for is whether the market is trending right now. Looking at the 15, I mean, the market is obviously trending up. We're on the 15-minute chart though, so we're going to look at the 1 hour and see, are we in an uptrend or downtrend? So good, right? Uptrend is based off higher highs, higher lows. So here we start with our high, our low. We have a higher high, and then guess what? This dip is telling me that is going to create what our lower high, and then it's going to continue up. And so great. We got a lot of good confirmations here. Next thing is we'll look for major reversal areas in the market. We already identified that one there. And looking down at this point where our dip is at, we got around this area here is a reversal area. Okay. Next thing we're looking for long wicks in the market. Let us know where possible, exhaustion or reversals may happen at. 15-minute. Okay, still banging against, as you see that, remember I said it acts as a resistance, still banging against the Tengson and the Kinginson here. So we're just waiting. And could you have ended this one, just said, boom, I'm going to enter for 10 pips? You could have, but just know that you could possibly just get pulled back because of this dip here. Anytime you see a dip in the cloud like this, it's letting you know there's going to be a pullback somewhere around this area here. We may get a good drop to hit, well, guess what, our trend line, and then we might get our bounce back up. So we have an opportunity to have a better entry if we can be patient and just wait. Okay. Talking about this trend up. So yeah, this is identified on our 1 hour as well too. So currently, because we have some points that are connected, we have a trend. And then now what we're looking for is that price is respecting an area. And then when we want to hop in a trade, price is moving in the direction that we want to enter our trade in. So since we're looking for a buy here, we're looking for our bullish candle to light up. And all I'm looking for, this is a support and resistance area right here, right now that we're in. So we're just waiting for the bust past this area, and then we can take our 10 pips out of here. Okay. Now, we're just talking about just as you're trading on your own, just something simple. Anytime you see, this is where I really want to catch. You want to catch really this area right here. When you see something like this, strong buy. Above the cloud, red cross above the blue, strong buy. Right? So all this, you would definitely, and especially on a 15-minute chart, you would have caught. So catch this crossing here. So let's say you're brand new. You want to trade this technique, this strategy. This is 27 pips right here. So we're just looking for 10, right? So as soon as you enter this trade, you see the crossing, you buy. The first thing you do, you set your stop loss 5 pips below. So if I bought here, right, 5 pips below, or around about this area here, we're talking about either 54 or 50, so 81517 or so stop loss. And so if this does pop backwards, boom, it takes me out. I take a quick loss and I enter at a proper time. Okay. Other than that, guess what? It went all the way up. It followed the Kinnison all the way up, and then what? Boom, came here. So you could have trail stopped this all the way up, either caught more than 10 pips. Okay. So that's what we're waiting for now. We're just waiting for this to pop past the tungsten again, and once this happens, it's going to cross over. We're going to enter for trade. All right, buy now, CAD JPY. We're going to definitely set our stop loss on this one, as news is coming. Make sure you're using proper risk management. All right, my current entry is 81.757. I'm going to set my TP at 81857. Now, it may be that we could get, so here's the deal with this. It may be that this could drop and hit this trend line here. So just know the news is coming around 10. So we're hoping for this to just push up. As soon as we get about 5 or so pips in profit, 4 pips in profit, I'm going to have you put your stop loss in profit. What's the question, Christian? So there's several places you can set your stop loss at. All right, so here's what I do know. So this can possibly pull back here. So if you want, you can actually place your stop loss either at 81378, or if you want to tighten it up right now, typically I set the stop loss once it passes this, once the red line crosses over right below the blue line. Hasn't happened yet. So you can place your stop loss here. Just know that this may drop down a little bit. So I would suggest, as of right now, you can place your stop loss here, just in case we do get this pullback here and then respects and then bounces back up. Or you can tighten it up and you can place your stop loss here. I'm going to place mine here for the time being. So if you want to place your stop loss, 81486. Or we can turn and let's go to the 5 minute real quick. Cross hasn't happened there yet. Okay. All right, while we're just waiting here, I know this is trading, folks, so I'll answer some questions in between here. We'll talk about this a little bit more. Your TP is going to be 10 pips from entry. So if you're brand new on here, of course, I want you to go through the academy, but I'll just teach you how to calculate the pips real easy. All right, anytime that you trade a yen pair, it's only going to be 3 numbers. So I know in the academy is going to teach you how to calculate it based off the 4th digit. Here's what you're looking at. Just always look at the last number, okay? And then the number in front of your last number. The last number is always your pipette. So the number in front of that is your pip, okay? So now we're just going to subtract or add 10 based off these 2 numbers here. So whatever your number here is, you add 10 to it because we bought. So my TP, for example, right now, my TP is 857. So my entry was 81.757. My TP is 857. So we may get this pullback here. And here's what I'll tell you. If you use proper risk management, if we get this pullback here to this point, you can actually enter another position here once it respects this area here and get it at the top. A second position here. If it does pull back, I'm hoping we get this pop past we get this crossover here. Yes, I'm already entered. If you haven't entered, you could actually wait. Let's see if it pulls back a little bit more and get a better position. And yes, I'm already entered. My entry is 81.757. Now also, So typically, once the line, so this one we end up calling it right when it went above here, and it kind of bounced back down. If you set your stop loss, typically you set your stop loss 5 pips below your Kinston. Right now, they're both is consolidated here, so we call it trade in this consolidated point, waiting for this pop here. You can set your stop loss here. I don't suggest setting it here because this could drop and just respect this line and bounce back up. It's above the cloud, so here's the deal. If it comes down here, it's gonna bounce back up and go and hit your take profit. So I would set your stop loss below this trend line here. So around this, either this previous low right here, or you can set it right below the trend line. And remember, when we're talking about stop loss, the proper way to set your stop loss, right? They talk about what are you willing to risk, and if that's 10 pips, remember, don't use large, don't over leverage your account. So depending on what's in your account and using proper risk management, whether that's you risking 3% of your account or whatever you decide to risk in your account, you can also base your stop loss on that. But strategy technique wise, your stop loss should be placed before, below a point where either structurally or based off your strategy. So I'll tell you, using this strategy here, typically like a crossover right here, your stop loss will be placed right below the blue line. Okay. Here, because we haven't got our crossover, we just kind of bought above the cloud. We're going to place our stop loss here just in case it comes to this trend line here and it's going to pop back up. Okay. So if we look at the 15-minute, the 1 hour is above the cloud as well too. See that here? So stop loss, looking at the 1 hour, you can place stop loss here, which it was the same thing, right? Remember we talked about the trend line, so really the same. So you can actually place your stop loss here if you want 81.577. And you can see on the 1 hour, this is where the trade was actually called. It's respecting this area here. So now just look, because the trade was called in 1 hour, we're looking for a much bigger move. You hear Christopher Terry talk about measured moves, right? So we go from here to here. If this is going to create another high, let's say that it comes around this area, or if it starts from here, let's say it comes from this area here. This is the move we're looking for overall, right? What does that pretty much head us to? This is our next point. Remember we talked about that, where price turned around that? So you can literally take profit up to 81.942, okay? Same thing applies here. You see the red line crossed over the blue here. So very, very confident about this trade. Either way, if it pulls back here, so I would definitely, place your stop loss below the trend line here. You can take this trade up to 81.942, okay? But definitely lock your 10 pips in once it goes to that point and just throw your stop all the way up. All right, another trade in there. Let's take a look at it. So everybody should be good here. Like I said, trade's already set. Make sure you put your stop loss in place. News will be coming out. And let's just take a look. Go ahead and set 10 pips right now. I would prefer that you just get your profit out of the way, especially before 10. What's about to happen in US? Let's see. All right, let's talk about this call here. So this is just got called on here. It said GBP USD for a sell, right? And so anytime this call, you're going to verify before you enter this trade. You're not just going to enter blindly. So as we can see, we definitely see that this is moving up. So we would not enter for a sell here, right? But understanding what you're looking at right now, first thing, it's below the cloud. So that's a good indicator right there. Okay. You know, I like to look at all the charts, see where the entire trade is at. That's below the cloud. That's good. 4 hours below the cloud. Powerful. So now what we're looking at, so this is called an M15. So this trade can possibly pull all the way up to this point here. Remember, the red line acts as a resistance point. So this is good. So let's go on our 15-minute chart here. So this is like a correction back up. Remember we talked about this, consider our stop loss line also a resistance area. So you see price is respecting there. So if you want to enter this trade, you would sell here. Stop loss goes here. Okay. Right above. Wait for price to move in your direction. And then when to get for 10 pips. That's it. And I'll wait for it to pass the once it passes this the Tennyson, our conversion line, you can get in for this trade. Entry point is called in 1.280447. So go find your brand new. First thing you'll do, go find where that entry point they're suggesting. I click on it, go find this box here. Put in my coordinates. Price. Boom, that's where it's calling entry at right there. And we're going to look for this sell here shortly. GBP USD. Oh, my market is moving kind of funny this morning. So we're probably going to call this one more trade here, and then we'll call it a day for this one. Does anybody have any more questions? That's pretty much the strategy there. Trade gets called. You check and make sure your price is below. If call for a sell, make sure your price is below the red line, and you sell. Look for 10 pips if it's on the M15 or higher. If it's above, make sure that price is above your red line. Your tank it's in for the buy. Okay, I'm gonna give you the four. Pretty much four things I look at. So as soon as if a sell is called, for example, red line cross below the blue line, that's one. Right? If this cross has already happened, the second thing we look for is that price is below our red line. Okay. The third thing when a sell is called is that looking for whether it's strong or weak buy. Strong buy strong sell is below the cloud. Okay. And if you haven't already taken too many trades, you're going to sell GBP USD. Stop loss is going to be at 128. See, 128.173. And 10 pips from entry. GBP USD. And my take profit is 1.12791. See what's this? 911. So actually 914 for me. Stop loss. There. All right, CAD JPY is in profit now. A little bit. So we got that move going. All right. So folks, you should have two trades in there. So we sold GBP USD and we bought CAD JPY. Make sure you put your stop loss in place. News is going to be hidden for CAD. So protect your money. Always set a stop loss. This strategy is too easy not to set a stop loss. Remember, the goal is to have more wins than losses. So quick 10 pip trades. When it's clear like this, easy. Set your stop loss above. Enter the trade for 10 pips. That's it. Okay. Everybody should have a good entry. We should be going into the blue. Going into the blue here shortly for GBP USD is right there. And then where are you in the blue for CAD, JPY? That's just patient. Once you set your stop loss, you really don't have to look at your phone. Just close it out. Don't look at your phone all day. Mindset, just let the trade go through. It's going to hit your stop loss or hit your take profit. So just in recap, just how to use the Webb Analyzer ECC-11 strategy. Once again, remember the cloud acts as a major reversal area, also acts as your trend. Okay, so anytime it's below the cloud, it's considered you're in a downtrend. Any time it's above the cloud, okay, you're considered in an uptrend. Okay, so you see this was trending down for a good period here, all below the cloud. Okay. And anytime that the red line crosses below the blue line, below the cloud, strong sell. Okay. Anytime red line crosses below the blue above the cloud is a weak indication for a sell. But remember, as long as you understand that the red line and the blue line, they both act as support and resistance points. Okay. The blue line is your stop loss line. Okay. So when you enter the trade, always set your stop loss at least 5 pips or 10 pips above the Kinderson, which is your blue line. All right, when we look for a buy opportunity, it says buy here. Then we're going to look at several things. Red line crossed up over the blue line. Okay, it does that below the cloud. It's a weak indication of a buy. It does it above the cloud. It's a strong indication of a buy. And then also when you're looking at that, making sure that your price is above your Tinkerton when looking for the buy opportunity. And then once again, you're going to set your stop loss below your blue line, your Tinkerton, or what we call your baseline. So we are 3 pips in profit for CAD JPY. Okay. So everything's in the blue right now. That's it. We just wait. It's just patience. They're all going to hit their 10 pips real quick. And then, that's it. So I would suggest if you haven't got this strategy, it's a very easy strategy to use. ECC-11, we're just dealing with the cloud, quick glance. You don't have to even focus really on, when you learn market structure, when you go through the academy, it's just going to sharpen up what you see in this market. You're going to really be able to see at a quick glance whether it's going to be a good trade to go into. And then you'll understand more whether you can, when you're looking at these red lines, they'll be more of a tool to you versus a crutch. Okay. So right now, some of you you're going to use it as a crutch because you're going to depend mostly on whether to enter based off looking at it. But when you start understanding market structure, you'll know whether you can enter or not. And you'll understand the 5 confirmations before entry. Okay. We're getting into profits. So if you want for CAD JPY, I'm going to go back real quick, secure your profits here. We are 6 pips in profit. Go ahead and bring your stop loss. 5 pips in profit. I'm sorry. 2 to 3 pips in profit. We're just going for 10 pips. So you can bring your stop loss up to either 7.8 or 7.7. But right now, everybody should be 7. It should be 7 or so pips in profit. So we're almost, it's about to hit TP. All right, once profit is secured, you're in a risk-free trade. Okay. And it may come back down and pop your stop loss. It could do that. But the good thing now, and here's the deal. It is now above on the 15-minute chart. So it is now above. See the red crossing right here? So several things you can do. You can really set your stop loss here. So if you want to just catch the whole move up, because this might come down and it's going to pop and hit your stop loss. Okay. So if you want to catch the whole move up, but just remember the news is going to hit. So that's why I'm trying to make sure that you get your profit in there. But you can also just bring, I think we entered around this point here. You can bring your stop loss up right below the blue line here, right? And then just catch this all the way up. So for those that did do a stop loss, you got taken out in profit. So here's what you wait for the pullback here. It's going to hit this line or around this area. Enter again, stop loss placed here. or you can enter if you took it on in profit. You can enter again. Stop loss goes here. All right, that is our time. I'm gonna stop the recording here. I believe we covered everything, and I'll just answer any questions that you may have. Oh, Devin, which one are you asking for a sell? So we sold GBP USD. Okay, this one here, and we bought CAD JPY. Nicholas, the 5 confirmations, they're in. So it's the market trending. Definitely go through the academy, right? That's going to be the last. It's like the last video, but the 5 confirmations is the market trending, right? Looking for major reversal areas. Okay, MRAs, the trend or long wicks. That's what we're looking for exhaustion, where the price is going to, reverse. And then the trend of the market, looking for retest. Okay, so we look for it to retest a certain area and then break, and then price moving in our direction. I believe, Dr. Jules, she may drop the recording in the team app or so. So just look for that. You can re-enter for CAD JPY. Yes, you can re-enter CAD JPY. If you re-enter, I suggest you set your stop loss at 81720. So you can re-enter for the buy, 10 pips. You can actually, let's talk about CAD JPY. Just remember, news is going to hit. So you want to be in and out, or just make sure you set a tight stop loss on that one. But everybody should have either got knocked out in profit, or you should be coming up close to hitting your 10 pips right now. So stop loss at 81720. Okay. You can buy CAD JPY. True take profit. You want to get that bigger number. You can take it up to and there goes 10 pips, take profit hit. If you want to take it up to 8194, I'll say 940. And then we can expect for us to get another drop here. So you can take it up to 81940 for your take profit. For those who re-enter, you should already be in profit for CAD JPY. If you did re-enter, just make sure, like I said, bring that stop loss in the profit at some point, or just get your 10 pips in there. Everybody should be in the blue on every trade right now. And this is the strategy, folks. It's simple. You can do this. You can do some trades right before you go to bed, go to sleep. Don't even worry about it. Just let your trades go through his deal. Set your stop loss, set your 10 pips, boom, done. That's how simple the strategy is. Now let's talk about I'll talk about a trailing stop real quick. So you see how we getting this fresh cross up right here? Well, similar to this, you see this cross up right here. So when you see this, right, boom, we entered the trade. We got in for our cross up. Okay. So now the next time you're like, okay, how do I trail my stop loss? Well, as this is shifting up, anytime that my Henderson levels off, so it starts moving sideways, I'll bring my stop loss below it. So here, it moves up some more. It kind of leveled out here. So stop loss goes here. and then boom, came around this area here, stop loss goes here. Right, and then of course, if you were in for this buy earlier, it would have been taken out right here in profit. Okay, so same thing. Guess what's happening for us right now? We're going to take this all the way up to 94940. Okay, get about another 10 pips, 10 pips in there. And so as this goes up, we're just going to bring our stop loss and the profit. So if you wanted to, for example, you can now bring your stop loss and profit here if you wanted to. Okay. Everybody should already hit their 10 pips. So that's your first 10 pips knocked out. We're in profit. We are 4 pips in profit on GBP USD. Right. So for those that were in that one, if you want, feel free to bring your stop loss and profit, protect your money. But we're good. No news is hidden for GBP USD. The BRICS is back. So just know that's happening. I think we're good, folks. We getting off the call. We all in blue. Everything's good. Making sure I answered all the questions here. Settings again. Okay, yes, I can go over settings. All right, so the settings. When you come on, if you're brand new, you're gonna get your first. If you don't have the web analyzer, I recommend that everyone gets the web analyzer. Okay, it's the easiest strategy to use and to teach. Easy. Okay, so you're gonna go to your back office. You're gonna go to shopping cart. So shopping cart on the side here. It's going to look like this. Find web analyzer. Make sure you don't find an add-on. Find the actual web analyzer. It's going to cost $21.95. Click on it, buy it. All right. Once you do that, you're going to go to IML. Either go through your back office and find web analyzer here, or you can go to imlwebanalyzer.com. Okay. Everybody's in good profit on CAD again. Okay. You're going to go down to your strategy because you're not going to have anything here. You're going to click on add strategy. Go find ECC-11 here. Okay, boom. And you can turn on your cha-chings, right? It lets you know where there's a trade. And then you have save settings. Done. Boom. Okay. And then as far as the cloud settings, you can change that to 6/13/26. Okay, 6/13/26. You're going to change your conversion line. Make sure it's red. Make sure baseline is blue. Everything else remains the same. Save as default, and then you'll be set. So next time that you get onto your web analyzer, for GBP USD, you guys should be your 7 pips in profit. If you want to bring your stop loss about, you can bring your stop loss to 1.27994, or you can just let it go down to 10 pips. All up to you. Right now, you're halfway to your take profit. I like to secure profit. So, and remember, CAD news is going to happen, so just be cautious of that. If this is still rolling afterwards, just make sure you close out in profit or place your stop loss in profit. Okay, I believe that's all the settings right there. Christian, you asked some there. Talk to Dr. K about the green line crossings. I know she talked. That has to do with some swing trading. I just look at the trend to determine the trend really. Lavana, so what are you asking for? So are you asking when to hit TP, like far as re-entry, or? Dr. China, the TP 10 pips from entry. My TP for GU is 1.27914. 1.27914. Now I don't like to play it. So what I do for when I'm doing 10 pip trades, I'll bring my stop loss and profit about 2 or 3 pips. Oh, Renita, Renita got her 10 pips in there. So yeah, if you got in there early, you got your 10 pips in. If you sold early before I called it, actually. Don, your conversion line is going to be red, and your baseline is going to be blue. Yes, Kendrickson is going to be set at 13. Your Tankston is going to be set at 6. Let's look at that one more time. Make sure you guys got that. So conversion line 6, baseline 13, lagging span 26. Ian, I don't use if anything, I would use the 5-minute chart for entry. If you want to try to get an early entry, I use the 5-minute chart for early entry. But I don't. Remember the 5-minute chart, as far as the crossings, you only get, it's going to, guarantee you about 3 pips or so. So I don't use the 5-minute chart. I like to just go the M15 chart or higher. Robert, we are setting some up where we can always trade together. So we're getting a page to make sure that everybody, and like I said, you're only going to have access to this. First of all, you got to be active, active customer, okay? Not just IBO, active customer. And you're going to have a login. So we're going to have it where you have to log into here to access us through trading. So that's coming. Oh, thank you, Dr. What's going on, Dr. K? I just seen that you're on here. All right, folks, we are done. I believe I got everybody's questions in there, so we are done. GDP USD back in profit, and it looks like it's about 3 pips from entry. So secure your profits, folks. You guys have a great evening. Congratulations, we caught those pips this morning. Let's go.